Vermont is the only state that's never had a senator or representative who's a woman. With incumbent Congressman Peter Welch running for the state's open Senate seat, Vermont Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray and Senate President Pro Tem Becca Balint are vying for the Democratic nomination. The winner of tomorrow's Democratic primary is heavily favored to win in November. It is a deeply blue state. And while this race will be historic, it is also yet another race where a moderate Democratic candidate is facing off against a progressive candidate. Even the state's senators are split, with Bernie Sanders endorsing Balint, while retiring Senator Patrick Leahy is backing Gray. Joining me now, one of those women hoping to represent the state, Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray. Thanks for being with us. Why has Vermont, by the way, never had a woman in Congress?
That is such a good question, Chris, and it's wonderful to be on with you. I wish we had the answer, but I think it's important to recognize that this is historic because we only have 3 seats. We're one of 435 in the House. Of course, I have 2 senators, and we've been so well represented by an incredible congressional delegation. Senator Leahy, who I used to work for, Congressman Welch, who I used to work for, and of course, Senator Sanders as well. But we're the only state in the nation never to have sent a woman to Washington, and we're going to change that this year.
So is this really a battle for what being a Democrat means, progressive versus moderate?
I think this is really a question about what the future of Vermont is going to look like. We continue to say, as one of the oldest states in the nation, we're a small state, we're a rural state. We have a shrinking workforce and population, something I've worked to address as lieutenant governor. But it's really about how effective our federal delegation is in Washington. And we've been so lucky to have leaders like Senator Leahy. Obviously, being the chair of the Appropriations Committee is a huge deal, but he always keeps Vermont front of mind. Broadband access, access to water and sewer infrastructure, which is so desperately needed as we work to build more housing. Always thinking about our farmers and food producers. We're a big dairy and ag state, as you may know. And what Vermonters expect is someone who's going to work across the aisle, build the strongest coalitions, and really deliver for the state day in and day out. And, you know, there's been a lot of questions about this race and Senator Sanders getting involved and Senator Leahy getting involved. But what I think listeners and Vermonters and certainly Americans need to know is that we need pragmatic leaders now, leaders who are going to deliver for rural states, deliver for Vermont, and get things done for the American people.
But do you think those endorsements matter? What do you make, for example, of Elizabeth Warren's decision to back you in 2020 when you ran for lieutenant governor, but back your opponent in this race?
Well, I think my opponent's a progressive. She's been endorsed by the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Congresswoman Jayapal, of course, Senator Sanders. There's 1.7, I think it's maybe more than that now. We'll see what the day brings, but at least $1.7 million pouring into Vermont from outside groups, trying to truly buy an election here in the state to elect the next, as the Boston Globe says, member of the squad. But Vermonters won't be bought. We have a lot of Vermonters in rural parts of the state. We always vote for the person. We put politics aside. We have one of the most popular Republican governors in the nation. I've been working with him as lieutenant governor. And I trust that tomorrow, when Vermonters go to the polls, they'll be thinking about pragmatism. They'll be thinking about the deep needs of our state, and they're going to elect the person who's going to do the best work for Vermont.
As we said, this is an overwhelmingly Democratic state. Would you say now that Joe Biden should be the party's nominee in 2024?
Oh, it's too early to say. I mean, right now, I'm honestly focused on getting through tomorrow, and polls are opening at 7 a.m. and closing at 7 p.m. and getting every Vermonter out to vote. But what I do feel really proud of, and what I know we've benefited from here in the state, is a focused leadership that is thinking about infrastructure, broadband access. The Inflation Reduction Act is going to be huge for us as a small rural state. And whether it's Joe Biden in the White House next term or someone as pragmatic and thoughtful, they will have my support.
We only have 30 seconds left, but specifically, what will the new legislation mean for Vermont? How will it impact your state?
We have a lot of Vermonters, I think a lot of Americans right now, who are struggling at the pump. They're seeing it, they're feeling it. A lot of Vermonters are already thinking about how they're going to heat their homes in the winter. So to have money that's going to support weatherization programs, supporting getting more and more Vermonters into electric vehicles, supporting prescription drug costs. That is huge for us as a state that has a lot of folks who just depend on prescription drugs every single day. So it's a massive effort, and it's a good example of the leadership style that I'll bring to Congress as Vermont's first Congresswoman, building the strongest coalitions, getting things done. That's what Vermonters deserve, and that's what the American people deserve.
Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.